You sleepy boy. Big old Yanni boy. It's too fucking full. Alright, there we go. Yeah, man, just... Oh, wait, did you actually finally ban my ass on Discord or some shit? Did you finally do that? You know my real name now? I thought you already knew that. Come on, boy. I mean, at least to, like, friends, like, I mean, I'm not exactly too worried about the name being heard or known. But, I mean, it's also not exactly impossible to find. Just pretty much like depending on if people are weird enough to give that much of a shit about weird little me. Oh, come on. There we go. Go there. There we go. Face specified in the middle. It just came up in people you might know. Oh my god. So Facebook was actually the one that gave you that information. Just on the virtue that it happened to just, be me. And I guess that you know me. And it, like, can do with the algorithm shit. Like, I mean, that just shows, like, how much these corporations buy and sell your data, by the way. Because how would Facebook know that you might know me like that? Like, I mean, there shouldn't be anything about Facebook specifically that should know that. But the thing is, like, if you found my page on there, it's old as fuck. Like, I haven't used that basically since high school. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I think the last time I actually, like, used my Facebook page was probably, like, a year or two after high school. Two of my pages. That's probably why. Because, like, I kind of made another one to kind of, like, freshen up and, kind of get a new start. Yeah, that's the 2018 one. And honestly, I didn't even really bother using it at all. I did a little bit, but I was just like, nah, fuck this. Like, so, and the 2015 one, that's, well, from high school and shit, basically. And I bet that's from when it says when I was last online or whatever the fuck. But, yeah, that would explain it, because I really don't use Facebook. Which at least shows and proves that. You're no longer peak furry cringe like I thought. No, really? Yeah, why do you think I partly stopped using those fucking things? No shit. 2015 was peak furry cringe. Duh. Yeah, me? Yeah, like, why do you think I've grown up? I became an adult. I'm still furry cringe, but you know what? At least I ain't 2015 furry cringe, okay? Like, I'm still furry cringe, like, but at least I ain't that bad. I've just, if anything, evolved to go into sexually furry cringe. So just sexual degeneracy on top of being cringe. Which arguably isn't necessarily peak cringe, because at least you can find some solace out of that. Or arousal. So there's at least something. There's at least something to that shit. Man. I don't know if I like spit out shit, but fuck. Hold on. Gonna get like one good hoopla here. Oh my god. It didn't feel like it, but that was a lot. What the hell? Ah. God damn. Jesus, what the hell's stored back there? God. Holy shit. I didn't realize that big hoopla was gonna fucking unleash. Oh, that was like legitimately like some force. Makes me cringe because I used to post sci-fi quotes at the time. It sounded cool, but later realized it was crypto-fascist nonsense. Like strong man could make good times. Oh yeah, that shit. I mean, at least I'll say, at least when it comes to my politics, it wasn't really that significant at that time. I mean, if anything, like, honestly, whatever, like, political shit was there at that point was probably just, like, early, forms of my leftism forming at that rate. Being like, yeah, guns should probably be regulated, and gay people shouldn't be discriminated, and stuff. Like that shit, basically. And then, there wasn't, like, I guarantee you there was nothing in there about, like, season means production, blah, blah, blah. Strength of success at the time. Yeah. I mean, I probably did too. I mean, the thing is, like, that type of shit, is taught a lot, growing up. I mean, because, like, on one hand, like, there is, like, a sense of truth to that, depending on what it is. But the thing is, though, you don't need to be, like, some strong man or have strength, so to speak, to be successful. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of where the whole foundation of the idea really goes wrong. And people just take that way too seriously. And take it as, like, an absolute. Because realistically, I mean, sure, some things you definitely want to be strong and have strength in, you know, especially to have success. I mean, it's like, you know, those Icelandic strongmen that lift those gigantic fucking, like, logs and shit. Like, just basically the equivalent of, like, a 100-foot log or something. It's like, that takes some legit, just pure straight-on strength. You know, so it's just like, I mean, you know, some shit needs it, but that's the kind of thing, though. Like, it's very specific shit. Like, I don't necessarily need strength, you know, to be successful at my job, you know what I mean? Like, you know, for at least for my type of line of work, or, you know, doing something creatively or some shit like that. I don't necessarily have to be strong. I mean, maybe mentally, like, you know, having, like, you know, strong mental prowess about it. You know, but, you know, that's just what I love about little quotes like that. It's like, oh, yeah, you have to be strong, this, that. It's just like, bruh. Got my haircut, the most SJW looking manager bootstraps person I've ever met. SJW looking, but also pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Hold on, let me deal with this dog. Hey, what's up? Fuck off. There you go. What? Not about your tongue, so times in a row. I mean, what, like, SJW looking manager, so they look like an SJW that wants to speak to the manager, but also looks like a manager that wants to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Is that what's going on? Left-wing blue hair, snowflake hair, in fashion, boasts in conversation revealed to be anti-vax and religious zealot. Oh my god, it's one of those, oh no, nah, it's a right-wing fucking weird psycho mom who's like a Karen Wino dude who's having an existential crisis. She thinks that maybe having blue hair will help, you know, like liven her up in her youth or something, dude. Oh my god. You found one of them. You found one of those Karens. Oh no. Well, I guess she wasn't a Karen, but you found one of them in the wild. Oh no. Oh god, you found one of the unhinged zealot conservative fucks that have an existential crisis and go through like the whole like, oh, I need to like, you know, like add some shit to myself. She was your age? The fuck? Well, you can still have an existential crisis at that. Yeah, so, I mean, I still feel like my point stands. She's just on the young end of the spectrum. But still, oh god. So it's like one of those Facebook wine moms that visits the anti-Facebook groups, but she just integrated into that way earlier on than most. The only person working in the entire salon kept trying to log into some kind of company Google meeting. Made the haircut take way longer than it should. I still wish we had salons. I know in Texas, like in some of the smaller towns, they have like bars that are essentially kind of in the style of a salon. I mean, saloons still technically exist. They're basically just bars that just still hold the aesthetic. But hey, I like it. But like, what like barber is fucking like trying to do a Google meeting at the same time they're trying to fucking like do a haircut? Like, what the fuck? That certainly is some weird ass multitasking. They did a good job cutting my hair, but I didn't need to hear about my because vaccines. Oh my god, dude. I just at a certain point I'm like, look, I get you got your view about it, but can we not? I mean, apparently does this every day, but on Monday she's the only one working there. So she gets understaffed and fucked over at her work, and, you know, by basically literally having to man the fort. Wow. I mean, I do honestly kind of feel bad for her, but, I mean, Jesus Christ. So I couldn't just walk away. Oh, it's one of those... Oh, it's one of those places where you pay first. At least at the places I've gotten haircuts up here, usually you pay afterwards. Like, I mean, it's set up to where you can't necessarily leave. I mean, unless you just up and left. But, I mean, you would have to, like, go on the other side of the counter and the whole shebang. Like, there's kind of, like, you would have to kind of basically kind of go for, like, a little wall. And obviously there's cameras in play. Like, you basically wouldn't be able to get away with it. Plus, that'd be stupid anyway. I mean, yeah, haircuts are kind of expensive, but, like, how most people our generation don't want to work hard and just get handouts. Oh my god. Man. It's like, I'm gonna be out here doing some work and doing my own thing, but, you know, all the rest of you that decide not to. It's like, oh my god, shut up. God. Man, I hate bitches like that. Just turned off my brain. It's like I was dealing with these people. I mean, it's because, like, all they're gonna do is just ramble, meander, and fucking bitch. Like, half the time, they, you know, it's like how my dad is sometimes. They just bitch just on the virtue of bitching. They just want to do that. Because they want to feel like they at least have, like, some form of control over some shit that they don't like. Which, yeah, JLHF at that one. Was Visual? What the hell? No, not anymore. Was a computer technician at the local Facebook call center. She went on a long rant how she couldn't share Matt Walsh's documentary on there. Oh my fucking god. Oh man. I said I just fixed the computer, it's not set policy. I mean, also, like, I mean, what did she think, you know, bitching about that to you was gonna do? Like, oh yeah, you work at Facebook, that means you could totally help fix policies and stuff, right? It's like, no, that's not how it works. Oh my god, dude. Conservatives are so fucking stupid and gullible. Here, boom. Figure check out some of these links. See what's going on over here. Let's see, which one do I want to click on? Scody, edit. Yeah, we'll do this. Fuck it. Oh, look at this one. Oh my god, it's so tiny. How do I find the full screen? Where is it? It's not even visible. Oh my god, I can't even click it. It's not even, no, oh, there we go, okay. Oh no, is that dog, like, literally, you goof. I knew it. You silly boy, you let out a fucking stinker, dude. Jeez. I saw that in the backyard. Damn. Oh, she's so tiny. The USB Caesar package. Yeah, and that's not how that's gonna work. I mean, it was the full screen for this. Because no, why'd I do that? Because that's how small it was. Look at it, it's so tiny. The full screen is supposed to be in that corner, and I can't fucking click it. I did once. There we go. I literally had to click like 4 times before that happened. Goddamn. Anyway, I just wanted to see what was going on here for today. Because apparently Voosh just ended this, but I figured why'd I do that again? Oh wow, first time charm. Okay, thank goodness. Alright, I'm starting to hone down about where that button is.
You guys ever hear this argument that cops are bad, actually?
Really?
West Virginia state trooper allegedly hid video camera in women's locker room. Oh.
The what? Dude, what the fuck? That is literally like stalker shit.
50 women and underage girls plan to sue the department.
I actually almost choked on coffee. Did I just hear that part? Like, I just seriously wish I could live in a world where I don't have to hear about, like, the gays pick bears, drink beers, because, like, why is it pretty much like everything the right wing supports and sucks the dick of? Cops, religion, all these, fucking, like, traditional, like, Western shit. Why is that always, having, like, a really dark underbelly of literally abusing sexually children? Like, I mean, it's just like, why is there literally always, like, an undercurrent of that, like, pretty much every fucking time?
After an anonymous letter and investigation exposed hidden...
It's like, can the left appropriate this whole, like, groomer thing and, like, unironically just start calling these fucking people this, too? Like, I mean, because they just honestly are. Like, the right wing are. Like, if you want to see who the real groomers are, it's the fucking pastors, it's the cops, it's the fucking... like a lot of these right-wing extremist zealots and shit, like, these are groomers. Like, they are actually literally groomers.
Footage from the training academy. Huh. Pedocon theory continues to prove itself.
I guess that's actually, like, pedocon theory. Okay, I guess that's what the left is calling it. We're calling it pedocon theory. I actually have heard that term thrown around every now and then, so I think that's what's being called. So, yes, pedocon theory. She's suppressed about how much I could talk to her at college level about politics without having going to college for him. She also said she learned more about social information than she did in school. Well, because you don't necessarily need college or, like, formal education to learn about these things.
This discovery is just one of a number of alarming allegations that were brought to light when Governor Jim Justice, I can't believe that's a real name, received an anonymous letter in February detailing over a dozen incidents of misconduct within the state police department, including intoxicated altercations, office affairs, misappropriated funds, sexual assaults, and more. But as of now, the only...
Pretty much everything that is pretty typical for cops.
The allegation to spur legal action is that a state trooper had installed a video camera in the women's locker room at the police training academy. Not only did the footage show women being reported, but sickeningly, underage girls who were enrolled in the junior trooper academy. That's, I don't normally see news stories include narrativization, but I guess it's a pretty appropriate bit to add. Our ongoing investigation shows rampant sexual misconduct, including hitting videotapers, female cadets, and others while they attended the academy. Okay, so it looks like there's not that much info to go over at the moment. I just saw that the troopers were under investigation. In late March, just a month after the letter was made public, Justice told reporters that a USB flash drive with the footage on it had been found, and other troopers allegedly, quote, threw it on the floor and stomped on it. What? I don't know how reliable of a method that is for destroying a flash drive.
Well, I mean, you destroy the electrical parts in it, and thus destroying the memory drive. So, I mean, because that's how you, like, try to essentially eliminate something you don't want on a hard drive or something, you basically destroy that. I mean, so stomping on it, you know, to the point it's utterly broken and destroyed, I mean, in literal multiple pieces. I mean, that would actually technically be efficient. So they're also tampering and hiding fucking evidence, well, destroying it, not just hiding it, but literally destroying it. So, wow, go figure.
I guess it would work. Maybe. I guess we'll see if anything comes of that. I just knew I wanted to look at that because I hadn't looked at the details. I had to take a second to find the appropriate video. In lighter news, you should see the Nazi skulls Dylan Burns posted after being uncovered by that reservoir draining. What?
Huh?
The destruction of the Nova Kakhovka Dam has caused the water to empty the bottom of the reservoir. This has uncovered many skeletons at the bottom of the river, which had been laying dormant since World War II.
Really? Whoa.
What is it with Ukrainians and adding music to every bit of grim wartime?
Thank you, Vosh. Thank you for fucking saying it. Oh my god, for real. Dude, literally every video of like it's something in Ukraine is always like or some shit like that, or it's like or some shit. It literally is just some dumb fuck music like that, dude. Every time. And it's like there's no reason for music to be in this video, but yet it's like it's like, dude, what is this dramatic music, dude? My god. Wait, so, I mean, what, we're not gonna play now? Is this a situation? I'm sure any dam has ever built has skeletons in there. Well, this is from like World War II, so these were probably like, you know, like these skeletons, like that skull there is like from literally a dude from World War II. Good way of itemize. Well, yeah, you know the Salt Lake, in Salt, you know, like outside Salt Lake City and shit in Utah, right? Like because it's been slowly draining because of, well, droughts and all that shit. They've actually, like, some places of the Salt Lake have unironically uncovered, like, all sorts of missing bodies and, like, unknown people and shit, like, that it's very heavily suspected that, you know, mobsters and murderers, you know, fucking killed and dumped out there. Because, like, and, you know, that goes far back as, like, the fucking 50s and shit. And it's just like, whoa. And that's just, you know, from what has been recovered. It's like, what the fuck? Then the Mormon mob, the Mormon mob used to be fucking huge back in the day. The Mormons, I would assume so, probably. Lamau moron. I mean, I don't, yeah, moron. The moron Mormon mob.
That's it. With Ukrainians and adding music to every bit of grim wartime footage.
Whoa, dude, this dude still got a fucking helmet on. Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's still like he unmuted it just to see if the music was not playing. Of course it still is.
Yeah, during World War II, the Nazis and Soviets blew those things down. Dude, people love blowing down.
Dude, yeah, wait, yeah, well, didn't, like, the British literally built, like, a bomb specifically to be a dam buster. Like, I mean, like, yeah, we love blowing dams up.
It's just a lot of fun. It looks kind of raw, though. Yeah, well, I mean, there are a bunch of corpses that had settled at the bottom of that drinking reservoir.
That's a drinking reservoir, by the way. Like, people drink their water from that, and there's literally, like, 60-plus-year-old bodies there. Dude! Shut up! Is it a Russian that's defending Ukraine from not... Wait, what? What, the video? No, I think the video was from, like, Dylan Burns or something. Really? Oh my god, YouTube is just being shit right now. What the hell? Here, hold on, we'll do this. Will this help? Oh my fucking Christ, I was really hoping it didn't do that. Vietnamese skeleton.
Dude, people love.
Well, dude, this isn't, because that's a Wehrmacht helmet. I mean, I could tell, because that's a M35. That's an M35 steel helmet. I could just tell just by looking at the ridges on the edge, on the bottom of it.
Yeah, during World War II, the Nazis and Soviets.
Russians had different helmets. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, that's why you got a history buff like me. I mean, because that's why I could tell that was a German body there, because of the helmet. Unless, like, a Russian soldier picked it up and wore that instead, which I doubt it. If a Russian was going to pick up something from a German, it'd probably be their gun. Or a coat, not their helmet.
People love blowing dams. It's just a lot of fun. It looks kind of raw, though. Yeah, well, I mean, there are a bunch of corpses that had settled at the bottom of that drinking reservoir. I mean, you know, it's Ukraine. A lot of people died there.
And I guess there was the same dam back in World War II was also blown the fuck up. So I guess this dam has a history of being blown up. This isn't the first time it's happened, I guess. Which the more you know.
Come and see shit. I don't know what that is. Alright, hold on.
Was it ever actually discovered who did that?
Nazi skull sounds like a demon artifact. Yeah, it does. Definitely does. Here, I'm going to read these donations. That seems like something that a responsible...
It's not. That's actually not something a responsible person does there, sir. I like how the whole cop thing was actually pretty short and quick. Boo. Well, he does talk about the Reddit thing, actually. I know someone timestamped it here. Yeah, there it is. Now we're going back in time. Travel back 1,000 years at a time before Voss streams. There lived a simple peasant looking timestamps in the chat.
Okay, you guys heard of a site called Reddit?
No. What's that? What's a Reddit?
You know, some people use this site. We like to make fun of them. I've always found it kind of funny that people make fun of Redditors, because I think that Reddit has actually probably the least consistent site character across the breadth of its user base of any...
This is true.
The social media sites.
I honestly do agree with that. Because honestly, no matter where you go on Reddit, you're always going to find some strange character of a person. Like... I've seen people who are just strange and just a weird character, just that isn't political. I've seen them be weirdly political. Like, yeah, there's no consistent, like, foundation of what really makes a Redditor, outside of them just using Reddit.
Reddit is the most like how the internet used to be, where it's highly decentralized, where the personal spaces are extremely customizable because they're literally, like, owned and managed by separate people, you know, as opposed to, say, like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, where you just have, like, a guy on top and a bunch of corporate policy dictating stuff. You know, some subreddits are pretty nice. I like 196. I like some. You know, some people say there are these two subreddits called Voshvi and OkBuddyVouch that may or may not be fine. I've heard rumors. I don't really know. You know, whatever. Did you know that people are mad at Reddit right now? In fact, what I have open right now is a Twitch stream that is live tracking the subreddits that have gone private.
Wow. So wait, there's 6,472 subreddits out there. And damn near over half of them, dude. Oh my god. And that was as of like 4 hours ago about. Or, you know, give or take, about at least 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Like, holy shit.
Subreddits that are pledging to go dark.
And when he popped it up, like, one literally went private, like, right when he popped it up. Like, a
protest of a decision.
That's cool.
Now, a lot of these subreddits are pretty big.
Whoa! That shit just bumped hell up.
Subscribers to some of them. There's our photography with 5 million, you know, huge number. This isn't live, by the way. I went back about 24 hours to see this when it was going a little faster earlier on. Lots of subs, an enormous amount.
Whoa! Now he went live. Oh my god. That's what the real number is. Holy shit. Whoa.
There's Markiplier r/rap, where everyone goes to get the latest rap info. There's Anime MILFs _AI, Pizza Crimes, Dance Moms, and SSX, which I misread as sex at first. I think SSX is actually like a sports game.
It
University of Houston. And somewhere in this big live stream, you would see my subreddit's going dark as well. Why are people doing this? Well, here's the thing. Who here knows what an API is? Raise your hand if you know.
I do now because of last night.
Hypers.
Because I wasn't even aware of this really happening outside of like a couple of like murmurs from it. And I was like, huh, okay. Yeah, a little interesting. And then, of course, you know, like last night when I was checking out, or at least trying to see the Portland subreddit, I'd be like, oh, let's see what's going on here. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Initially, I thought it was banned or something. But then I realized, oh, this whole blackout thing was going on. So now, like, after at least getting a little brush up, at least kind of a layman's brush up about it, I kind of realized, like, oh, I see what's going on here. Reddit, you're literally our trash. I see why people are doing this.
Hypers. There we go. That's what I like to see. So, I'm not exactly a tech expert, but I'll summarize it as best as I can, okay? Websites, basically all websites, have something called an API. It's basically an interface that allows people to gather data from the website. So oftentimes this stuff is really simple. Like say, for example, you want to make a bot, and the goal of the bot is to track how many people have replied to your tweets within a given day. That means you have to pull information from the website. The bot, automatically pulls it, however you code it, and it uses that to comprise a database. You can do API stuff with varying levels of complexity, but the important part is that it's necessary to do any kind of third-party application work for a website.
Yep.
So if you want to make like a Google add-on or anything meant to supplement the experience of a website, you need some kind of API data, because otherwise you don't have a way of interacting with the site. You don't have a way of engaging with the data. Without API access, a website is basically incapable of being worked with on any level besides the default user experience, with anything besides what you as a regular user are allowed to do. API is important, and
and especially when it comes to Reddit, mainly as an app, it really is something that should be seen as important, because Reddit's official app sucks. It's not really that good. I mean, it's okay. I mean, at least it gets the basic job done, but overall, it's not exactly a very functional app. I mean, it's got a lot of problems with it.
Especially important. Okay, a lot of tech nerds in the chat who know more than me. Congratulations. Wow, you know more about tech than a sociology baccalaureate, okay? Congratulations. Listen, okay, this is the basic stuff, all right? If you've used Twitter or Instagram or for some reason Facebook or TikTok or whatever else, you've probably noticed these websites are heavily driven towards an phone app user base. Not entirely, but heavily. And they function pretty well on their own. They're a pretty complete package. Now, people mess stuff up. They change stuff. People edit. They have third-party programs, Google add-ons, whatever. All the time they do, sure. But these sites are largely an inbuilt package. They function well on their own. You're never going to guess what Reddit isn't. Functioning on its own. Reddit sucks on its own. Reddit, which is, again, a highly federated social media website designed to allow customizability between all of the communities, which is moderated almost entirely by its user base, not by a team of administrators working at the corporation. Reddit can't be used that well without third-party tools and software. I can say personally, as a mod,
you've literally been there for 5 minutes trying to make some I was wondering why you were silent there for a bit. Like, what the fuck? YouTube sucks. I don't know what to tell you.
That moderating Reddit without third-party mod software is agonizing. Seriously, it's really, really, really bad, The Reddit is just really clunky. Reddit kind of works on mobile, but not that well. It seems like most people use it on desktop, at least more so proportionally than other websites. And keep in mind, all of this is meant to be a kind of emulation of how websites worked back before there were social media mega monopolies, right? Like Reddit is supposed to be a customizable space. You need API access. So you're not going to guess what the Reddit administration decided to do.
Try to hide it and try to like suppress that shit.
That's right. They're charging you for API use. On a
Gotta
social
charge it.
media
Gotta
site
literally have a fucking.
that is
You literally
supported-
gotta have to like price it. You gotta hide it behind a paywall. It's like, yeah, well, we can let you have the API, but we have to. We'll charge you for that. We'll give you a monthly fee.
untold millions in unpaid moderator work. I mean, keep in mind, right? Like, ads are run on
Use Reddit
Reddit,
Mobile because they do. Well, I just use it because it's just the quickest way to get to Reddit.
meaning that the corporation
Plus, it's fun.
benefits
Plus,
from
it's useful
people
to
using
check
it.
out
It's
shit.
not all like a charity, They're making money off of the
React
effort
stuff.
of their user base. And in this case, the effort...
They're making us pay for Reddit. No, it's for API use. So when it comes to like third parties and shit, like let's say you want to make your own subreddit or like have like some sort of add-on to voucher site to supplement the website experience, Reddit will charge you for the API usage and shit. Like, they're not charging you to use Reddit. They're just trying to charge you for the API if you want to use it.
involves an incredible amount of moderation and customizing work. Reddit, of all websites, is the last one that should be charging for API use because the website does not function without API use.
Exactly.
It does not work. But they're going to be charging for API use. And that's why people are protesting. Now, I know this sounds kind of like meaningless and esoteric to a lot of you, and I understand that. It's Reddit. People are having a little Reddit protest because people are upset about corporations making money, but you have to understand, okay? This is about a broader tendency online. More and more and more and more and more, social media websites make money selling data and ad space to profit off of labor that is done by the people who are on the site itself, right? Why do people go to Twitter? It's not for Twitter, the company. It's not for Twitter, the company's services. It's for the people on Twitter, right? Why do people go on Facebook? Why do people go on Instagram? Why do people go on Reddit? The point of social media, the thing that drives engagement there, isn't the efforts of the people on top. It's from the people who are using the service, which is why they primarily make money off ad sales and, data selling. You are the product, right?
Apparently, government takes the possible threat of zombies seriously. There's a bunch of containment plans leaked it recently. Who couldn't send me classified information? Oh my god. Well, I know the government does actually have some program, for unironically like zombie contingencies and shit. A part of it, from my understand at least, is used to kind of help, kind of have people prep legitimately for other things like natural disasters and shit. Because in a lot of ways, some people will take a zombie apocalypse seriously in comparison to other shit. So to convince someone to prep for that is in a way a little bit easier, so to speak. To have a bug out plan in comparison to hey, prep for a wildfire, because people are gonna be like, oh, that wouldn't happen to me. But for some reason, zombies are like, ooh, but yeah, what if zombies? A lot of people love that whole idea. So I think a part of it comes from that in a way, where it's just it's easier to kind of convince people to have at least some sort of kind of a bug out kit in a way when it comes to things like natural disasters or some shit like that. Because obviously the government doesn't want people just to literally be stranded. They want to try to make sure people, or at least in this case, when it comes to things like natural disasters stuff, they want to make sure people are at least, do have at least something available if they can't be reached immediately, with situations like that. That's why at least prepping to a certain extent, it really isn't a bad idea because of, things like that. Because let's say, there's a really bad, winter storm or some shit, or a really bad wildfire and you have to, relocate for a bit or something, or some shit like that. Or, there can be various different things that happen where prepping isn't necessarily a bad thing and actually would certainly help. And the government does have like a little program based around zombies and shit, for those type of things. And from my understanding, you can actually get like a certified like, zombie killer license and shit like that and stuff. Like from my understanding, like there's a whole thing with it. I think they started it when like the whole zombie thing was huge, like when The Walking Dead was a big thing, like at its peak and stuff. I think it kind of gained at least traction around then. I don't know if it started at that point, but I know it kind of became at least a little bit more popular around then. But no, I can't take any zombie movie or show seriously now. Oh, I still would. I still can if I want to. I mean, that's what oh my god. What about like alien movies and alien shows? What, you don't take that seriously because the government, actually considers that shit too? Government would contain it or nuke that shit in day, a confirmation of spreading. Well, yeah, they would contain it. I don't know if they would nuke that shit unless it was, like, that serious, but I doubt that would be the case.
So in this case, Reddit is charging for the development of the site that allows it to be usable and that has led to its community to develop. This is very much a case of, like, Reddit doesn't understand why people go to Reddit. Reddit doesn't seem to understand that their site cannot function without free and easy access to the API services. Now, people in chat, annoyingly, are trying to skip ahead to the next thing that I'm going to say, preempting me, when talking about the actual price of the API that they are trying to charge. Which, let me see, hold on.
There was a price for it.
Because it is pretty insane.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I'm going to specifically call out the one person who annoyed me. Anonymous75. Bosch, you're kind of misrepresenting the situation. Charging for the API in and of itself is not a bad thing. The problem is that the cost is exorbitant. First of all, fuck you. I don't.
First of all, fuck you.
For the API. Second of all, I'll get to it. All right. Now let's get to it.
Oh my
API
God.
charging cost.
I love that call out, dude. I love that Bosch.
This is from the beginning of the month. Reddit will charge hefty fees to the many third-party apps that access its data. The company will charge... Well...
Okay, he was about to say it, but I saw that well before he just started saying that. $12K for 50 million API requests. A high price relative to many of its peers. Bruh.
1,000 for 50 million API requests, a high price relative to many of its peers. API charges have been of growing concern for developers and companies as large language models trawl the web for content. 12,000 for every 50 million requests is insane. Now, to justify the proposed charges, they are going to use like megacorps as an example. So here, according to the creator of a popular third-party app called Apollo. The developer said the number was deeply disappointing. Apollo made 7 billion requests last month, which would put it at about $1.7 million per month, or $20 million US per year, the developer said in a Reddit post about the change. So, a third-party app to assist...
It sounds like Reddit is really just trying to extort the fuck out of people now. Jesus Christ.
Reddit.
And other companies.
Have to pay $20 million US per year in order to continue its use. Now, obviously, at rates like that, no third-party app could actually function.
And they're not going to even take that. Like, man, what the fuck, like, are the people up at Reddit thinking? Like, did they really honestly think this is going to go through successfully? Like, let alone with the whole blackout shit going on. Do they really honestly think third-party apps, are like, are going to actually, like, buy that? Like, no, they're not. Like, like, there ain't no way.
Which is a
maybe like a couple, like maybe Apollo might initially, but they're going to back out of that real quick. I mean, because it's just going to be too much of a cost.
It seems to understand what they're actually doing here. I don't think any cost is justifiable because the use of API for third-party programs is literally the glue that binds Reddit together. Reddit CEO bummed OpenAI scrapped all of Reddit to train ChatGPT. They fantasize about all the investors' money getting funneled to AI hype companies. Yeah, that is the kind of thing that tech media or that social media tech corporations would get excited about.
Of course.
API costs have gained greater attention since Elon Musk assumed ownership of Twitter and since used AI-powered tools to make their way into products used by millions of people. Modern AI programs use large language models, which train themselves on mountains of web-based content, including from user-generated posts on sites such as Twitter and Reddit. Users and developers were outraged when Twitter said it would charge $42,000 for 50 million requests. Apollo's
Jesus!
developer said despite Reddit's promise to avoid that kind of extreme pricing, the company price is still $12,000.
What the fuck? Why is this shit so fucking expensive? What the fuck?
Apollo said it paid about $166 for the same number of API requests from the online image sharing service Imgur. While many companies charge for API use, Reddit has historically derived the bulk of its income from advertising. But relative to its peers such as Facebook, Snap, and Pinterest, Reddit has struggled to monetize its active user base. With the digital ad market facing a slowdown and Reddit now 18 months removed from the notification of its confidential IPO filing, the company may be facing pressure to bolster its revenue.
So this is how it's trying to do it.
Stuff. Just so you know, Reddit literally went public right after they made this decision. Really? They're looking to sell then, are they?
Really? Wait, so now they're trying to... Wait, what the fuck is going on with Reddit? Like, honestly, like... This is some shit that I'm just like, the more I'm learning, the more I'm like, what? Like, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening with Reddit right now? Like, what the hell?
These fucking idiots have no...
Dude, like, did they just, like, literally just, like, get lobotomized and just, like, you know, are all just, like, going based off sheer reactionary instinct or something? Like, what happened? Are they literally... Is it like the South Park meme where they're literally letting the headless chicken decide things? They're just, like, grabbing a random chicken. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll decide based on this. Here. All right, let's see where it runs around. Okay. Oh, it landed on going public to sell it. All right, we're doing it. Let's do it. Sell it. It's like, what's going on? Like, what the hell?
I would be astonished if this works. No shot. No shot.
Yeah, that...
Elon, don't you dare. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, Rip, you last night was mentioning, what if Elon bought... Oh, no. Oh, God. Watch. No. Oh, God.
That's from February? Yeah, and it says later this year.
Which is later this year now. We're paying for rent next year? I hope God not.
Honestly, the problem is that social media companies just have trouble making money, right? Ad buy rates are...
Yeah, honestly, maybe it's as if, like, you know, maybe we shouldn't be basing social media platforms on, like, for-profit and monetization. Like, maybe that's kind of the reason why, like, you know, social media platforms aren't necessarily profitable, because maybe they really shouldn't be based off of that. Like, I mean, they're meant to be social media. They're meant for, like, communication and stuff. Like, I mean, it's a little bit different in comparison to just, like, you know, any other website, you know, at least in my mind. You know, so it's like, I mean, at least, you know, to me, they should, you know, kind of be a different element of, like, how they work as a platform, at least, you know, when it comes to the internet. Because they're basically like a big global soapbox for people. I mean, so there needs to be more of a treatment of, you know, kind of honestly, you know, looking at it that way. I mean, we were talking a little bit about it last night with, like, the whole, you know, idea of, like, free speech comes with consequence and shit. And, you know, part of that is, you know, like, being up on a soapbox and people reacting or, you know, in various different ways with their own speech about, you know, the consequences of what you have to say and stuff. You know, so it's like it should have the same type of merit. It's like, you know, it's like, hey, you might have, you know, like, right, say some shit on, you know, these platforms, but guess what? There's a consequence with shit like that. That's why, you know, there's things like a TOS, because, I mean, there's kind of like a, you know, inferred thing about, like, you know, hey, you know, back in the day, if you're on a soapbox or some shit in public, I mean, there's a certain level of decorum, so to speak, that you don't cross, you know, and shit, because if you do, people will very, you know, heavily react negatively towards that. This support video sounds good. Oh, that? Yeah, we'll probably check it out when I get off work.
Oh, no,
we'll check out a little bit more of this and...
Never really a sustainable venture to begin with. If everyone remembers, like, the YouTube adpocalypses, early estimations of how effective internet ads were are just not they're not panning out. So how do you make money off these vital, essential services that everyone has come around to using? Well, back in the good old days when the internet was highly federated, decentralized, and people could just find communities of like-minded people by like Googling about it. Back when Google worked, by the way, which it doesn't anymore. And you would go to a forum with like 200 or 300 people, or like an AIM chat room or whatever. Back in the good old days when everything was actually worse, and I'm just like hyper focusing on a few elements where they were better. These costs weren't as much of an issue, but we're seeing more and more that like the model for running these social media companies, in spite of how many people use them, is just not generating revenue. So now Reddit looks like they're trying to just bolster public interest a little bit before making public, so maybe somebody will buy it, which I don't think they will. I would be incredibly surprised if they did. That's how tech CEOs are, Anonymous75. I don't know. Nationalize the internet? Well, that's what a lot of people have said before, and I'm actually completely inclined to agree. I think that this is the strongest argument that you could make for the national...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was actually kind of saying from earlier. Like, there needs to be, like, frankly, at least at minimal, social media platforms, from, like, Reddit, YouTube, etc., need to be nationalized. At least that wing of the internet when it comes to social media platforms. I would say at least, like, up to a certain fucking, like, user base or some shit. Like, if there's at least enough of a user base on a social media platform that's meritable to where it has enough usage, for something like this. Because, I mean, there's obviously, like, very small niche little, like, platforms and stuff, but at minimal, there certainly needs to be, like, for these big platforms, they need to be nationalized.
Of social media. Because we're talking about incredibly vital services that are irreplaceable. Like Twitter is irreplaceable. It has a very specific social, cultural, economic, political worth that cannot be supplemented with other stuff. If it fell, then another thing like it would rise in its place. It fills a niche, and it's vital. People need it. People use it. And then at the same time, like, it doesn't generate money, which means corporations aren't incentivized to control it and run it without, shenanigans.
And then you got, like, fucking wackos like Musk buying it and basically making it a fucking Nazi platforms. So, yeah. It's
the intro to this
ridiculous.
Piece is super on point. Makes sense. Wired has better articles than most, I think. The enshittification of TikTok. That didn't take long.
The enshittification?
What? Hey, stop with the create a Wired account. I hate the internet. Hey, here's how the internet's gotten worse. Make sure to create an account with us so we can spam your email with offers.
And then you can be convinced to maybe, get those offers and stuff, even though you won't, but we'll spam it anyway. And just add nothing but clutter in your email. God, yeah, I hate the fucking internet. Like, dude, I mean, I hate, like, a lot of, like, outlets, too, just because it's shit like that. And also, like, if it ain't like that, it's literally inundated with so many ads, it's, like, goddamn near, like, unnavigatable. Like, you can't even, like, fucking use it. I mean, man, I think, a lot of, like, this type of shit just kind of culminates to the fact that, there really needs to be a nationalization effort on, like, at least more of a push, at least at minimal to these, to these social media platforms. Because it just obviously shown that it's really needed. Because these CEOs and these, like, higher-ups of these fucking platforms just don't fucking understand how they, should be working. They think they need to be, like, this whole for-profit thing, and it just can't work like that. It's, like, at this point, it's just shown that that's not how they work. I mean, it's not possible. Because these companies have tried their fucking damnedest to make these platforms, from like YouTube to like Twitter, all these platforms, they've all tried their fucking damnedest to try to make them profitable, and nothing works. It's as if, like, that's not the point of them, and it can't be. So, hey, quit making these platforms like some sort of like corporatized profitable fucking shit. Like, actually make it, what it's supposed to be, and actually make it valuable and what it's actually fucking worth. Because these platforms can be worth something. And they actually can be, good, but they're not. Fox did just cease and desist to Tucker. Oh my god. Dude, that drama's getting deeper. Of course it is. Dude, I'm like kind of slowly but surely getting convinced that Tucker's gonna have a fucking cult. And like Jim Jones himself or something. I'm like kind of partly convinced he's got like a cult in the works. Because, I mean, a part of like, what was his name? Fucking, the guy who owns, not Ailes, whatever his fucking name is. Like, like, at the whole, like, you know, thing that Tucker was doing with his speech, he literally got kind of freaked out because of, like, how, like, biblical, quote-unquote, like, you know, Tucker was getting of it. Because some of it, and holy shit, like, the dude is literally, like, seeing himself almost like a prophet, almost. So, it's just, like, I mean, there's, like, I think it was also, like a few other people that literally kind of see him like that, too. So, I really do think there's, like, some weird cult shit in the works with that guy. I have a hunch. I just do. I never smoke at first installment. Because apartment, I knew they cracked down on smoking in apartments, but vaping too. Well, just, I mean, basically, just, like, don't do it in the apartment, essentially. Like, if you want to, just take a little walk outside or something. Like, the apartments that are by my work, like, a lot of the people that smoke and vape and, you know, shit like that, and smoke also by, like, smoking weed and shit, too. Like, they just literally go right outside and just do it out there. They have, like, a little spot set up where they all just kind of hang out. So, I mean, you know, all in all, like, if you got a place that's stingent about shit like that, then, I mean, just, you know, find some loopholes. And frankly, there's always going to be some loopholes. And also, like, I mean, how are they going to catch the whole fucking vaping thing? That shit doesn't stick. Like, that smell isn't permanent. Like, my roommate smoked his vape like, in the house all the time and shit, and I don't smell any, like, vape residue or anything. Just, so, like, how are they gonna fucking know? Boob. But like around here, if you smoke on the property, they can call the cops. I doubt it. They can't stop you from smoking. Like what, a fucking vape or a cigarette or some shit? Yeah, no, they ain't gonna fucking do that shit. It's really a common social norm for smokers to be like outside of a property smoking a cigarette. Like, they ain't gonna do that. But, anywho. Gonna get myself off to work and all that fun shit. But when I come back, we'll have some more stuff to check out. Because I'm looking at my homepage, and actually it does look like there's some stuff to look at. So, we'll have a little fun after work. So, peace out. Nice to see y'all on that next one. So,